Hi, Boss Babes of South Africa. I am here with the incredible Joanne Joseph, who is the author of this book, Children of Sugarcane. What an incredible book, Joanne. Tell us a little bit more.
So we are now launching the next leg of it, Leslie. The last time you and I spoke on Instagram, we were talking merely about the physical book. The physical book is still there, thankfully selling very well still. We are now introducing the audio book.
Right.
It launches this week. It is available on so many platforms. So now you've got the hard copy, if that's what you prefer. You've got the ebook and the audio book.
So there's different options that you can enjoy this book. Just tell us at a very high level for our audience. We'd like to give away 3 copies of this book. So at a very high level, just give us a summary of what this book is all about.
So this is a book set in the 19th century. It's about a young girl in India, a 14-year-old, who is escaping an arranged marriage, and she comes to South Africa to take up indenture, which is a system that the British have devised to ensure that they have enough labour to replace slavery. And so arriving in Port Natal is quite a traumatic experience for her, and it really is the retelling in a kind of historical fiction format of her story.
And the story of resilience, of overcoming challenges, which I think a lot of South African women, are experiencing at present, trying to maneuver the different environments that we find ourselves in.
Absolutely. I think when we're writing the past, we're often writing the present anyway, as one historian has said. So you'll find a lot of the issues tackled in the book, as you have found, are universal and hopefully still relevant to our readers and listeners today.
Fantastic. So Joanne, as you know, Boss Babes of South Africa is all about female empowerment, women lifting other women. What are your thoughts on the topic of women empowerment?
So, I mean, it's a huge issue, and it is so important. For me, in our country, we're scraping the surface as far as the empowerment of women is concerned. We need to make it a priority. In as much as we are committed to racial transformation, we need to also be committed to class transformation and gender transformation. I think these are the things that we start to focus on some of these issues. We're going to get to a point where we can actually be proud of ourselves as a country and how we look after the women and children of this country and how we ensure their rights and their dignity are respected.
And being a journalist and now being an author, actually you've had to break a lot of barriers as well. Tell us a bit about that.
So journalism has in the past been quite a tough career for women, and I think in many ways it still remains so because it's still very much a man's world. But the great thing is that women have managed to simply go from just being in front of the camera and being told what to say to actually being some of the most credible journalists in the country. You've got really brave women who are at the forefront of journalism in South Africa, and who've managed to actually get into managerial positions in media houses in South Africa, determine the media agenda, and actually be able to control not control access, but certainly control the kind of storytelling, have a great control over the types of stories that we tell, allowing marginalized communities who haven't had much of a say and haven't had much of a voice in media to actually allow their stories to be disseminated and to be explored on media platforms.
I love that because 2023 for me has really been about also me wanting to share my lived experience. I think a woman who's been through a lot of challenges and unfortunately haven't wanted to share, but I feel like as you grow and as you mature and as you evolve as a human being, there's a greater need for us to share our unique stories and hopefully inspire others and transform the world, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to share those stories and make it relatable so that everyone knows that they're not alone in this journey and we're all meant to uplift each other, and I believe that storytelling is a very important part of that.
Absolutely. And they're beautiful, undiscovered, hidden stories out there. Whether they're stories of powerful women in the family, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, mothers, whether they're our own stories, we need to get those stories out there in whatever format we believe is most appropriate for them.
That's fantastic. Any final closing inspirational messages for our Boss Babes of South Africa?
Who knew that this was going to become a thing, When I started 9 years ago, started writing it almost 10 years ago now. I didn't think I was going to be able to write a historical fiction novel. After a lot of research and a lot of work at crafting it, it finally came into being a couple of years ago. And somehow Children of Sugarcane has just grown in so many different ways and just developed new incarnations and so on. So particularly if there are any writers, creative people, artists out there, actually doesn't matter what industry you're in. So long as you're someone who's inspired, has a passion to do what they're doing, follow it and don't allow it to die. Don't allow it to die. Just keep feeding it and it will flourish.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Joanne.
Thank you, Gopi.
We love having you on Boss Babes of South Africa, and here's to your incredible book and many more collaborations